style. You don't live it, big go smile, cause I'm gifted. All the times I really shifted. Plus I buy your fucking permit, and no less in my lyrics. Get your money on it. I was dealing on Pacific, another type of business. Yes, my skills could not be mimicked. Getting money to the point where my hands will turn arthritic, autistic, realistic. And shout outs to the critics. Usually be the older heads that won't hand you any gimmicks. Must about how they go thick. It can't rely on no statistics. Refuse to classify and be in a position.
I am Joffey Joe, and this is the show Call It How I See It. And on tonight's episode, I got a couple of things I want to share with y'all for this Halloween edition of Call It How I See It. So, if you guessed that I'm dressed up as Deadpool, you guessed correct. However, I'm missing the mask. After a good night of responsible fun, I misplaced the mask. I know, very brutal, but I was generous enough to come in as Nice Pool to run and orchestrate this episode to its full potential. Yes. So, for the first take, I have Glenn Pratt, and we are here to talk World Series baseball, Steelers football, and also an issue with struggling NFL quarterbacks that get thrown right in the fire after they're drafted. Yes, some can't miss stuff. And for the second take, I have Jan Carlo Esco in the house. We're going to talk about how the Eagles are trending up, and we're also here to discuss the last card of UFC. So, this is an action-packed episode of Call It How I See It. I promise. Do not want to miss out on it. I promise. Hello, world. Yes, I got Glenn Pratt back in the house. And what's going on, G?
What's good, Joffey? It's time to call it how I see it. Love it, man. Let's get it in.
Let's do it, G. I'm glad to have you on. We're gonna
always appreciate you, man.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure, especially for this Halloween edition. So,
That's
I got to bring the niceness because I'm Nice Pool. So, I wanted to give some flowers and kudos to what's going on in the World Series. We haven't got the chance to talk about it because football's been crazy. But with everything going on, G, what is your overview of some of the stuff that's been going on in this World Series going on?
Bottom line comes to hitting.
Yes.
Pitching's been good. I would say good.
Yes.
But the same thing that the Phillies fell to or became, why did the bats go cold in the crucial times? I mean, what we emphasize so much about postseason, that's what it has to happen.
Yeah.
That's what it has to happen. So these teams who were great in the regular season now, Judge and other people were struggling, just not coming up when it's time. I mean, for the first 3 games anyway,
Right.
just wasn't enough.
Right.
I mean, you had this last game, you had some contributions from Torres and Volpe. So, I mean, you're getting it. And even Judge had a little RBI at the end there just to say, I can do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, the pitching thing with Cole we were talking about, I mean, they wasted a great start with him in the first game. And really, with the short leash, I criticized Boone to think that that's why the man is there. You signed him for this. This is the World Series. This isn't some week in August. This is the World Series. 85 pitches for someone who makes 350. What?
It's unacceptable, bro. The money.
Come on, man.
G, the money, bro.
That's why he's there.
Yes.
So to get him again tonight, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm a Cole fan. I like his thing. I like his what he brings to the table.
No doubt.
It's going to be interesting.
He's no doubtably a solid number one. For the most part, I mean, other than his injury woes in the early part of his contract, he's been pretty solid for them. I mean, especially during this run this year, he's been their ace, unquestionably. He's been making that contract worthwhile in a way. But in a situation like this,
somehow they come back from this.
Yes.
He walks on water, you know what I mean?
He'll be remembered and he'll be a Yankee legend. So it's all on the table, but what is on the table is a big amount of stuff they have to push off of it. So, I mean, coming back from 3-0 would be really big, but I mean, they won yesterday and they have tonight. So, in a situation like this, you got to take things game by game. So, in terms of every little inning, you have to soak up the moment. And like you said, G, it comes down to hitting. And you hit the nail on the head on that too, G. I almost felt like I was watching the Phillies, this freaking World Series with the Yankees, just getting cold, bro. But if you think about the way they're both set up, they both play in small ballparks. They're both trying to crush the ball, get the ball out of there.
Heavy.
Yeah, exactly. They're very top heavy. And then when it comes to it, when you need hits and stuff and you're trying to kill the ball every time, this is what ends up happening. You fall flat on your face. But the Yankees were able to push this along most of the postseason and get to where they are. But seeing where it is now, they got their back against the wall and things are going to get tight. So what are you going to do when things get tight? So, I mean, I wouldn't bet on them to go back 3-0 and have another great, comeback story like the Red Sox did against them in the early 2000s. But you never know. Things are crazy. I mean, even in last year's Stanley Cup, the Oilers were down 3-0 and they came back and tied up the series.
They made a series.
Yes. So, we'll see how things turn out. But overall, I mean, I think coming into this World Series, we thought it was going to be a banger. And especially after game 1, the Yankees should have won that game. You know what I mean? Those are like every game is crucial, especially in this time of year. I mean, this is the end of the run, so you have to soak up every moment and try to cast every moment. So them losing game 1 was big, and then the momentum riding with the Dodgers coming in, so where they were able to get this 3-0 lead is just building up. And then plus Dodgers has been consistent, honestly, other than like one hiccup. They've been consistent hitting the bat. Absolutely. I mean, they've been doing really good. I have to give them credit.
Pitchers have been good enough.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, that's just been the way it's been those first 3 games for sure.
No, for sure. And then that's what helped them get to where they are. But, I see, but like down the whole lineup of the Dodgers, from Betts to Ohtani to everybody, even at Lux and Edman, they're all getting hits. They're all getting on base. They're still moving. They're even stealing bases and stuff. They're playing a complete game of baseball. And I have to give Dave Roberts a lot of credit for that. I do.
Pushing the buttons. He's pushing the buttons.
Yes, I have to give him the credit. So, I mean, they definitely are in the driver's seat. Coming in, I thought this was the Yankees World Series to lose, but now it's no doubtedly, the Dodgers to lose. And so if it's either they're going to be remembered as a great team that was depleted for most of the year with injuries to get to the point where they are now, even though they spent fucking almost $1 billion to get the team they have. But that's just where baseball is nowadays. So if you can execute and get to this point, then it'll be all worth it, especially with everything that comes down the line. So, but in terms of
money sometimes doesn't guarantee you wins, right?
Right, I mean? Exactly, and that's why this is the next point I wanted to bring up. So I wanted to bring up the Aaron Judge problem here. I mean, we know he's been a little cold. He got his little hit last game, but for the most of the part of this whole series, he's been ghost. And being the captain, being chanted MVP every time you're coming up to the bat by your own home crowd, it's been a big pressure. And I hate to see it because I'm rooting for the guy. I do. I think he's a good face for the Yankees and even baseball. But he's really struggling right now, and he's kind of been struggling most of the postseason too, having other guys pick up the slack for him and help them get to where they are. But what's your take on Judge right now, Jay?
That's what makes you, to me, when you are struggling, that's what makes you more undisciplined at the plate.
Yes,
so now you're reaching.
Yes.
It's just a whole different mindset. And a lot of what happens in sports is between the ears. In games like baseball, where you get to sit there and wait until your next at bat, you're getting up again. Right. Now, I just think it changes your mindset. I think there's a lot that goes into an at bat, and then when you're struggling on top of that, I think Judge is feeling it, man. He's gripping that bat tight, but we know what he's capable of. So at any point in time, we know it can pop off.
Right, exactly, and that's the difference between regular season and postseason. So I mean, that's why they get out the awards. That is, but like a player like Freddie Freeman, taking just been on fire, bro. Honestly, from all the home runs, the base hits, and everything, and he's gone through a lot this season himself. But to where they are now, and he's reaping all the benefits of everything. It's really a good story to watch. He had his Kirk Gibson moment in Game 1. So
love Freddie, I do. For him to make have how he left Atlanta to go to the Dodgers. I mean, for him to have this kind of World Series, I mean, that's the one thing. I'm rooting for the Yankees.
Right.
But if the Dodgers win it, I'm going to love seeing him getting this MVP because he's going to be the MVP for sure, hands down.
No, for sure.
And,
he's already
a great story, man. He seems like a cool dude. I really, I root for Freddie Freeman, absolutely.
He's a baseball player when it comes down to it.
I agree.
He's just a straight baseball player, and to see where he was in the season, struggling with issues that he's got going on internally. But yes, but to where he is now, you just see him cheesing and smiling, bro. That smile is everywhere, man. You see him from the game-winning hits or the other hits, or just getting people pumped up in his own dugout. It's been really
getting it started, man.
Yeah,
his home runs. I mean, the dude is just seeing it. He's seeing it, man.
His everything is just tunnel vision for him right now, and he's capitalizing. He's capitalizing at the highest level. So one thing else I want to bring in. So if a hypothetical, if the Yankees lose out this series either tonight or the next game, what do you think about Juan Soto moving forward with them?
I just, for some reason, my gut says he stays in New York, not whether it's with the Mets or with the Yankees, because you're going to have a lot of money being thrown around.
I know.
It's all about money for him. Is it where he's comfortable? Is it where he thinks he can win? Sometimes it's about the loot. We're talking about generational loot here. I mean, sometimes that's what it boils down to. They can say whatever they want in front of the microphone, believe me. But when it comes to those dollar signs lists, people talking about getting $500 million contracts, man.
It's crazy, bro. It's
Come
crazy.
On. So when it comes to that, it's going to be. What do you think? What do you think will happen? Man?
I mean, listen. There's a lot of things I think about this. I mean, his agent, Scott Boras, notorious for getting big MLB contracts. But last year, he struggled with a couple of his clients getting the deals done. And I don't know if the owners are starting to fight back against Scott Boras and these big deals. I know the Phillies have Bryce Harper, a big Scott Boras guy. So, I don't know if he can reel efficient. He wasn't able to reel in, a pitcher last year, like Yamamoto or somebody who's doing very well for the Dodgers in this series. But, I personally, with what you said, I think the fit with Soto and the Yankees is there. I definitely don't see why they wouldn't run it back. I mean, but he's also had success in other places, so it's kind of interesting to see where they could just pluck and pull. They were successful in San Diego, even though it fizzled out in his last 2 years there. But, there was a run there. The Nationals run he's had. He fits in. He does his job. He's great at what he does. I mean, is he worth $500? If he's worth $500 million, I don't know. I really don't know. But
Nobody probably is. It's just
No.
the way sports. It's just the way sports.
It's the way
play
Scott
out,
Boras has things set up, G. That's how baseball is.
and
He's
the
got
teams
by
give,
iron
teams
fist.
give it.
Right, but that's what I'm
Teams give
saying.
it.
That's
You know what I mean?
yes.
So,
A team like the Yankees would give it. A team like the Mets, even with this whole contract issues that they're having, including paying people that are not on this team this year, they still would probably throw money in that hat and try to get Juan Soto to come over there. So there's a lot of different options.
yeah, there's a reason these guys. It's always funny when I think about any sport, no matter how much that player's getting paid. If that player's getting paid that amount, imagine what the people paying him are getting. So if they can pay him $500 million, think about what they're going to make. I mean, it's just
Pennies.
that's how to me sports is in general. That boxer's getting 30, 40 million. You know how much the people promoting that fight get? I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
It's all about the cut. It's all about the cut. You know, especially for the people that are setting up, you know, everything involved. It's all about the cut. So, but I want to do a quick audible here. Switch over to football. So, Jay, I see you got your Steelers gear on, and
Always
you know,
represented.
after another win and riding into the bye week, how do you feel about your Steelers right now?
They're a good team. I'm not going to get over my skis on this one. I mean, they got a solid defense.
Yeah.
Justin Fields was adequate.
Yes.
He was adequate. See, when I want to say, I've said in the past, Justin Fields can't play. I want to clarify or define what I mean when I say he can't play.
Right.
The guy is an athlete. He's a very fine-tuned athlete. As a quarterback, that's where I start to have questions.
The position.
And when I say he can't play, it's for him to be out there week after week. That's not going to get it done.
Right.
In my opinion, not going to get it done. Like, I feel as though I have a good eye for this man. I swear I don't know when I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, but I mean, Kenny Pickett can't play, man.
No, dude.
No. I knew that 4 games. I'm telling you, I ain't lying. 4 games into him being a starter, I told my son he can't play. We can't get the first down. We were going games not getting the first down until the second quarter. I mean, come on, man. You kidding me? Kenny Pickett can't play. He's a backup, and I knew he was a backup from the door. And when I'm wrong, I'll let you. I'll have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. Justin Fields, no.
These guys.
Russ, what you got?
It's I mean, but from what Russ has been showing, I mean, he shows that he's definitely a veteran presence, knows how to command the huddle. He runs things his own way, his own style. He runs the plays. Sometimes, yes, he'll throw that loft. He lofts that ball up in the air.
Up, man.
Yeah, throw
Get it to your guys.
Yes.
Let's go.
But I do see them, you know, I feel like the offense from an outside view, from what I've been seeing, they've been moving the ball better. I even see Najee Harris running the ball a lot better, too, running hard.
Oh, Najee Harris. What it boils down for Najee Harris, I wrote down a little something right here. Najee Harris is running contract strong.
Yes,
They've already,
yes.
Denied or, said they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. So he's playing for a contract, whether it's there or somewhere else.
Right.
And I figured that's going to be my new term for people in contract strong.
Yeah.
They're showing their contract skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you dangle some money and some idea of what they can get paid, dude. You'll see the best of anybody come out.
Wilson's in the same position.
Yes.
Fields,
yes.
Now Fields is off the, not on the field right now, but
Right.
Wilson's, it's up in the air what's going to happen to him.
No,
I mean,
it's uncertainty, but like when that uncertainty kicks in, you'll see the motivation factor pick up, and where these guys are starting to.
A little more sharp.
There you go. There's some hunger to that, but I definitely see this guy running hungry, and it's definitely the best I've ever seen Najee Harris play. JC, from what our comments and other episodes about him not being able to play or he's not a player, he's starting to play. So I got to give him credit.
I agree.
So, but yes, G, I see your team trending in the upward position, which is
That's
definitely a good thing.
We're going to buy this week a week of stress-free football. Let's go, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix for the win. He's hoping for the Ravens to take the L against Bo Nix
go.
and the Broncos.
All right.
So we'll keep an eye on that this weekend. Some, stress-free football. So I did want to close up shop and talk about another issue with quarterbacks going on. So there was something that came out, and there's been a lot of hoopla around young quarterbacks, right? So we have this whole issue with Andy Richardson checking himself out of the game because he was tired. Now, because of that, Shane Steichen's like, nah, fuck that. Joe Flacco, show him why you've been around for so long. Show him why that you are a veteran quarterback and why you're still in the league for some reason. So this is a big thing. But like, are these guys getting thrown into the fire too early? I know you just dropped some bombs on Kenny Pickett, but I'm ready for more if you have them. But anybody else that needs to get it. What do you think about these young quarterbacks? Do you think that they're getting thrown into the fire too early where they're not going to be able to succeed?
When they're getting drafted, these guys were number 1 draft picks for teams, in my opinion, to be playing. If you're picked number 1, you're playing. That's just my theory.
Right.
If you're the first pick on any team, you're playing.
Yeah.
I don't care what position. If I pick your quarterback, granted, I know Patrick Mahomes was picked in the first round. They had Alex Smith. They had competent quarterback. Love was picked early.
Yeah.
They had Rodgers. I understand it's circumstantial.
Right.
For most situations, that first round pick, you're playing.
Yeah.
You got to play, man. It's football. To me, you get better by playing.
Right.
Now, to me, certain players can't play. To me, personally, Bryce Young can't play.
Right.
Anthony Richards can't play.
Will Levis
can't play. I'm telling you, they can't play. Kenny Pickett can't play.
I mean, we
who
can go
else
down the
am I
line.
missing there?
We could go down the line. But I mean, like, what about but my argument with the number one pick? So like Trevor Lawrence, right? Like
he's trending there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but
He's
also
in trouble.
he is in trouble. But like honestly, like the cons, the way they had Jacksonville set up initially with Urban Meyer and everything, that was a freaking dumpster fire. And then they had a little bit of success when they hired Doug Peterson, but now that's fizzled out. So I mean, and Doug Peterson's supposed to be a quarterback guru and help quarterbacks out. So I kind of see him plateauing. I don't like. What is the ceiling for some of these guys? Honestly, I feel like these guys and these GMs, when they're throwing these guys in the fire too soon, like it's the evaluation of talent, and it's like, are
That's
you really?
Anthony Richards wasn't a first round pick. He can't play.
No,
Come
dude.
on.
What a scam! Honestly, I would be if I'm Jim Irsay. I'm looking at I think Dan Ballard's the GM over there. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, dude, why did you fuck this up? We had a number 4 pick. There's other quarterbacks we could have taken here, and you wanted to take the guy that's only played 17 career games. He quit on his team to get ready for the draft, and now you see him quitting on the team in his 3rd year in the season when he hasn't even played a full season of football. So like, what is this? Like, the jury was out on him. There was question marks on him, but like, this is why you end up in a situation like this. And then like, this is a situation where Andrew Luck runs away from your team, or like, you know what I mean? Like, or Peyton Manning doesn't want to resign and finish his career with your team. So I don't know. That's another can of worms. But like, as a franchise, like, you have to really do your due diligence in your talent evaluation. You're paying scouts and people left and right to do this type of stuff, and you're still swinging and missing. So it's like, really, like, I don't know, but like the list of quarterbacks that we've gone down, like it's really alarming, honestly.
I remember when Cam Newton was coming out.
Yes.
I don't know if there was just nobody to rival him. Next thing you know, you start hearing about Blaine Gabbert. I said, who the hell is Blaine Gabbert? I think he played for Missouri.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Was it Missouri? Right. Next thing you know, it's like week 6, week 7. You start hearing about Blaine Gabbert. I said, what the hell? I mean, they just bring him out. Dude, come on, man.
They shoot up this Mel Kiper board and everything. And even like this year coming out with these new quarterbacks, you have freaking... I mean, I saw Mel Kiper. He had Carson Beck at the beginning of the year, and now look at him. Dude, Carson Beck ain't no good player in college football. Like, you have Shedeur Sanders, you got Jackson Dart, and like, I don't know these guys.
Dude from Miami.
Oh, you got Cam Ward too. And if anything, Cam Ward might be the most ready quarterback out of this draft class coming in. But out of these quarterbacks coming in, I don't see anybody that's going to help, progress the team into the future and stuff. Like, at least immediately. Like, it's tough. And even this year with the situation with some of these quarterbacks, like Bo Nix, it's Sean Payton knew taking him and starting him week 1, it's going to be a project all year, but he'll take the growing pains and the ups and downs of it. And they've been, it's been working since their defense has been so immaculate. That situation works, but that also helps with good coaching and a good situation set up. So like, when you have like this and it's not set up in this type of fashion, then it's almost going to be failure. And it comes in every time I see Bryce Young play football. It's just like, it doesn't matter who's the coach. It doesn't matter, dude. He doesn't have it. He was surrounded by good players around him in Alabama and was able to capitalize on that. But with a team around him that he needs to pick up where he needs to elevate other people's play, it's not happening.
It's not there. I mean, and like I said, when I'm wrong, when he's a star somewhere else, I'll come back on, call it how I see it.
Yes.
I'll say, Bryce, I'll give you your flowers until I see it. He can't play.
Nah, you can't play. And a lot of these guys that keep coming out and get thrown in the fire, they're just showing why they can't play, and they should be.
There's got to be something to your. See, Anthony Richardson to me is terrible.
Yeah.
No, he's not just bad. He's terrible.
Completion percentage is horrible.
I got to see something as a passer.
Yeah.
Show me something. Any kind of
just get a drive.
Terrible.
Just get a drive going. Just
right.
like trying to hit a home run every time. I'm like, dude, they're gonna figure that out. Week 1, yes, you look great, but dude, film comes out, especially when more and more of your play comes out. Dude, everyone's gonna figure you out. You have to like kind of keep changing the wheel for your own self and reinvent your own play. And he's just not gonna be able to do that.
When you do throw these young guys in there, you gotta expect some lumps. You're gonna. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
But at the same token, you got to show me something.
Right.
I mean, listen, something. Come on, man.
Make it worth our while here.
I mean, really, he was like 11 to 30 something. I mean, dude, bro, listen.
Horrible.
You have got to show me something.
Like Joe Flacco's not doing that. Like, it's what are you looking at and he's not looking at that you guys can't figure this out?
Man.
Honestly.
It's ability, man. It's ability. He ain't got it, man. Listen, he's an athlete. You can be the best athlete on the team as in Pop Warner, high school. You can play quarterback just being the best athlete in college even.
Right.
But then when it gets to the pros, all those guys were the best athletes on their team, man.
Exactly.
So it's a whole nother level, bro.
It's a whole nother monster. And he's just...
Absolutely. I'm telling you.
And a lot of these guys coming out, yeah, they getting paid, they're getting their contract, they get comfortable, and then boom. It just hits the wall.
Different world. Whole different world.
But, that just shows the breed of player that they are. There's different breeds, and these guys just don't have it. So they might as well ride the train. Like I said before,
I think Anthony Richardson, he'd almost be the perfect guy to move the wide receiver to me. He's the one. I mean, listen, I know I'm not advocate that. People advocated that about Lamar Jackson, and I wasn't a fan because I really did think he had some arm talent.
Right.
And I think he's a very good passer with that threat of defeat. But I look at Anthony Richardson, he might be that dude. Terrell Pryor, let's get on it. We might have a nice number 1 right here.
Exactly, freaking with your, we might be able to use you somewhere else, buddy.
Seriously, man.
But I mean, with everything invested in that, I mean, that's just a bad situation. But so
like, would be tough to do. I agree.
But how do you tell your teammates that? Like, can you ever think of a quarterback that's ever done that? Like in the middle of a drive. In the
There's
middle of
6
the drive.
people who never come out of the game. The 5 offensive linemen and the quarterback. That's just the way I've always watched the NFL.
Right.
The 5 offensive linemen and the quarterback, you don't come out.
No. Bro, the fucking referees don't call out. They don't say they're tired and shit. They do their job. You're there to do your job. You're getting paid millions of dollars to do that, not sit a fucking timeout. Brutal.
Bad luck.
Dude, horrible look. I think that buried him. So we'll see what happens. But
This
Jim
year,
Irsay,
anyway.
yeah, for sure. But Jim Irsay definitely got to drop the big egg on his face with this one. But G, I wanted to wrap up on that note on this Halloween edition of Call It How I
That's
See It.
what's up, Deadpool. Get him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm missing my mask, but it's okay. I can still be cool. I can be nice and everything.
Oh, you pull it off. That's what's up.
Thanks, G. But yo, I appreciate you having you on, talk some baseball, and even talking football. It's always a pleasure, G.
Always a pleasure to call it how I say it. Get with your job and be safe now.
You too, V. You too, G. We'll be in touch.
No doubt.
All right, peace. My friend.
Peace.
And here we go for the Halloween edition. I brought Jan Carlo Esco. What's going on, JC?
Nothing. No costume, but I'm here.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I appreciate you coming on and joining the festivities of Call It How I See It. So, as we are closing October, the Eagles had another great win, and it seems like we might be hitting stride. And I wanted to talk to you about it because we're big Eagles fans.
Yeah.
So, what was your take about the Eagles win over the Bengals?
I think that they should get more credit than they are getting for it, because the Bengals, believe it or not, even though their record doesn't precede it, they're still a good team.
Oh, for sure.
They're led by one of the league's best quarterbacks. Don't care what anybody says.
Right.
And it was a good win. It was one of the, I said last week was one of the most, against the Giants was a complete game. This week was an even more complete game. The offense is clicking. Jalen Hurts is stealing touchdowns from Barkley.
Yeah.
And I believe in our secondary.
Oh, for sure. It's become a strength for us, actually.
Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. He's a John now. He's Philly.
Yes.
Fourth down stop he made on Jamar Chase.
Huge, bro.
Big boy moves. Anything from last year's secondary, that play is not happening.
Yo, ever since he's been, slotted into the defense, ever since they took out Maddox, dude, it's been a big, big plus, and it's been a big help on the field, especially in spacing and coverage in the zone system that they keep running, and it's tackles helps the linebackers out. Like, it doesn't leave people out to dry, which Avonte Maddox did a lot, and I just don't even understand why we still have him on the team, but I guess
don't want to have him.
It's not really. I don't know. He's still there for a reason. So, and I mean, James Bradbury's still there for some reason too. But we'll see what happens when they.
Active yet, has he? No, he has not been active yet.
No, they might let him just be a healthy scratch all year, which is probably a smart idea. At the end of the day though, the secondary right now is stepping up so much, and it's becoming a strength for us. And we got depth too, and without having like Ringo in there, Isaiah Rodgers is in and out. Slay's been in and out. Slay gets his 2 quarters per game, and then he's out. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's letting Vic Fangio do what he wants to do with the front 7.
Right.
The five people on the line, 2 linebackers.
Right.
Letting him blitz.
Right.
And we're getting home right now.
I know, and that's the biggest thing too. Like us getting home and finishing with these sacks, it's been huge. It's been helping the secondary that doesn't, being out there like coverage wise. Like it's only a matter of time till like the zone gets exposed, which was happening a lot earlier in the season. So if you don't get the pressure and you don't have the quarterback, if you have the quarterback sit there, get too comfortable, it's just gonna flaw the whole defense apart. And we were seeing that in the beginning part of the year. Even it affects the run game as well too. So. It's really big how these guys are starting to come together, and it's really a cool thing to watch. And we have to give Vic Fangio credit. There's been adjustments made here, and it's been really good. Even the rotation of the front guys up front, Ojaro has been really good. These other guys stepping in, Nolan Smith stepping in. Milton Williams has been an animal. I knew when they slotted him over in that defensive end spot, he was going to be he's going to be a force, and he's really showing it. Honestly, if anything, he's probably got the highest motor out of all the 3 guys that have played up front. And even Nakobe Dean.
Yes, it's letting him. It's giving them each a little more room to work.
Yeah, it's really it's a great collective effort. And yes, given maybe some people want to doubt the talent at a scale of who they've been playing or whatever, but I mean still it's to dominate teams the way they've been doing the last 2 games especially. it's definitely took some heat off of Nick Sirianni and this team. So I'm really glad to see this go in this type of direction.
For this week at least.
Yes, for this week at least. But playing Jacksonville, we can fine tune things, and then we run up and play into Dallas, and then we see where we're at with them too. So it's gonna be really.
The next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be honest. The most concern I have is November 14th. Jaden Daniels, I'm concerned.
That is the matchup. Like, we're going to be looking up playing against, Washington. It seems like they're ready this year. Dan Quinn, it's been is a coach of the year candidate, and everything they've been doing on offense. Yes, sometimes they've been a little slow, but they've been finding ways to win the game, especially the way they won last week, which is really crazy. So,
Rick Stevenson, that name is going to stick in Chicago fans' minds for a very long time.
I saw his interview he had with NFL in the morning on NFL Network or whatever, but it was. I don't know, man. You didn't have to do all that, but when he was in his take from that, he just let the heat of the moment get to him and everything, but
right.
Which is understandable. So but I'm sure he'll never do that again.
You know what I noticed real quick about the Washington Stadium?
Yes,
that is the most fans I've seen there in a very long time.
The FedEx Field, I believe it holds up to 90,000 fans because it gets really close to the field.
It does, but it's a home game for everybody else. Yeah. Now they have a home. Now they have a fan.
Well, they do. They're in the process of, I believe they're going to, with the new ownership and everybody involved, they're going to get a new stadium, too, and place it somewhere else, because that's what they're going to do. But,
not even in Washington. They're in Maryland. Landover.
Yeah, Landover. So, I believe I think the new one is projected to go to Virginia. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look at the schematics on that and the blueprints. But that team right now, in terms of what they're blueprinting, is really good, and it's going to be something to be watching out for. We're going to have to,
they're a top 3 team in the NFC, but do I think they're going to compete with a juggernaut like Detroit? Not right now.
No, they're not ready. They're not at that level. And
they're coming.
But they are coming. They seem like they're there right now, so it's going to be interesting to see where we match up with them, because I'm ready to go at it with them and see where we're at.
That's the measuring stick.
It is for the East,
Dallas.
especially. No. Dallas is done, man. Dallas is done. I mean, Dallas, because of their, winning the division last year, they're paying the dividends from it this year in terms of the schedule and everything. Like, they're playing the harder teams, and they're not showing up. They're really getting exposed from what they really were the whole exact time. So, it's just, that's just how that's breaking down and everything. But overall, where we're going, especially on offense, I mean, I have to give Jalen Hurts credit, man. You're playing really good. You're playing good football, but you're not overdoing it. I mean, the pass attempts and everything, it's been down. The one game against the Giants, they only had 14 passes. They had 20 passes last game and stuff, but everything else is working good. Saquon Barkley is having the best year of his career. I mean, it's happening. You can't deny it.
Even though he lost 2 touchdowns last week.
But he's okay with that because, he's a team player.
Unselfish, yes.
Yes, hooking up Will Shipley on the one, that was really good. But where this team is going and where they're growing and stuff, it's been really fun to watch, and I'm really glad to see us hit stride. Yes, given weaker talent competition, and we're playing Jacksonville this week, another tune-up game, which we're playing our good friend Doug Peterson and Old Visit. So.
Should be. Their offense I'm not worried about. Their defense can be they can be tricky.
They can be, but I mean, they also have been giving up. They can also give up a lot of points too. We'll see how that matches up. But overall, I like where we're trending, and
And the trade deadline is Tuesday.
Yes, but I don't.
And if Howie calls, don't answer.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we'll see what they do. I don't expect them to make any moves. Even also too with the injuries that we've had to our offensive line. I mean, our offensive line has stepped up big, and it just goes credit to Stoutland. Fred Johnson's been playing great ever since Mulata's got out. Even Steen playing good on the right guard. It's just been good to watch, to see pieces come in, having the next man step up. It's really good, and you are seeing good coaching happening. It's just, sometimes with Sirianni and his antics, it gets put in a bad light. But overall, there's something going on here, and it's actually some of the best coaching I've seen Sirianni do, just in a 2-week window against lesser competition. But we'll see how things progress.
Whatever he's doing, just keep doing that.
Yes, please. I'll leave you alone.
Don't overcomplicate it. Don't reinvent the coaching wheel.
Right.
Leave it alone. Do what you've been doing. Cool.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, exactly. Keep sipping the Kool-Aid, bro. Just keep going with it.
Right.
So.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Let it be. Go.
Yeah, exactly. Let it run and let it operate the way it needs to. So that makes a good coach. You let the other coaches do their job, and the players do their job, and then after that, you oversee everything, and then you tune in. So that's what you're supposed to do. So, but on another note, I did want to talk about last week's UFC Fight Card, and I have your expertise here. Yes, we saw a crushing knockout in the main event, but it was a great fight, and it just shows where one fighter is in that division right now, and it's really crazy. But I'll start letting you take the floor. How did you feel about the main event?
Well, okay, let's start a little earlier. There's 3 fights I want to highlight.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. First fight was one of the pay-per-view openers, Shara Magomedov against that's the guy with that'll never fight in the States because he's blind in one eye.
Yeah.
The knockout he had, the double back fist, might be one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It might have been. The fact that he's calling out Israel Adesanya,
Is he there yet? I don't know about that.
It's only going to happen in Saudi Arabia, and I think he needs to fight one more person before he can get to say that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he was there yet. But go ahead.
But it was just so cool to see.
No,
I've
for
never
sure.
seen anybody attempt that.
I mean, dude, it's cool when you see things like that pop up, especially in that,
So I only thought it was in video games. I can't lie.
that was some video game shit.
Yeah. The co-main event, Khamzat Chimaev against Robert Whittaker.
Yes,
Another one.
yes, that was a good fight.
Robert looked like he had the game plan, but it's not. You don't know really what you're getting with that guy.
No, it's hit or miss.
All of that weight is just on you.
Yeah.
He won by rear naked choke / neck crank.
Right.
And everybody thought the reports were Robert's jaw was broken.
Right.
Not in fact broken. He got into an accident as a younger man, and his bottom teeth were always just like looser.
Yeah.
His front teeth were moved. That just shows you the dog that Chimaev is. He's going to be a force. I think he's a force in 2 different weight classes, 185 and possibly 205.
Yo, he's a well-rounded fighter, honestly.
Very well-rounded. It's just a shame that he fights as often as John Jones.
I know, right?
He's John Jones without the crime.
Right.
But
there's no stop. But there's no we know how good we know where he's at in terms of like in that division and everything, or like we said, even like going from back and forth like that.
I'm curious. Before Chimaev fights for the belt, I'm curious.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
What happens to Usman if he gets a full KO? That's what I want to know.
Right.
But I don't feel like we're not going to get that before we get his title shot, because the UFC does want to push him to the roof, which is fine and earned.
Right.
So I can no denying that. The main event.
Yes. Crushing.
Max Holloway was a lot of my 20s. He made he was the guy that dethroned Jose Aldo as the 145 king.
Yeah.
He went on an unbelievable run.
Right.
It looked like a passing of the guard fight to me.
Yeah, kind of in a way.
Because I think Max should move up to 155.
He's proven a lot already in that division, so like moving up, but go ahead.
I think he's a dinosaur. He's been in the UFC since he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's 32, almost 33.
Yeah.
He's a savvy veteran. He's earned the right. He's still the BMF champion.
Yeah.
He wasn't the better guy. I think he trusted his chin way too much.
Yeah, he got tagged, bro. He got tagged.
Eating shots he did not need to eat.
I know.
I, for one, underestimated Ilya Toporia's grappling and ground game.
Yo, well, another well-rounded fighter.
What Max does next, I believe he's going to go up and take a toss in that division. There's some fun fights for him.
Right.
He can fight a guy on a run like Dan Hooker, a very, very good run right now.
Mm-hmm.
Poirier again would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a banger.
And I guess Conor McGregor. We have to say it. I mean, I'm not a believer until he
really gets in the octagon.
Until he walks down that aisle. He ain't getting me.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a scam.
Kind of. And next for Topuria, he has a lot of options.
Yeah, I saw some of the options.
Most likely scenario is going to be Volkanovski 2, which I think is going to end the way as Volkanovski 1.
Right, the way they were talking about it after the fight, too. It seems like they're ready for it. It seems like he wants to fight him again, too.
Well, he has nothing to lose. He's playing with house money.
Right, exactly. Plus, he took the belt from him anyway.
It's not a new face.
Right.
There's another contender, Diego Lopez, who just beat Ortega.
Yeah, he's starting to move up.
He's got something.
Yeah.
Do I think he's ready? Maybe. I think he's a tricky fight. But I think the fight that everybody's going to push for after Volkanovski is Topuria versus Islam.
That'd be crazy.
They've already been chirping at each other, and how would I say? I think that's Khabib McGregor too. That's how I look at it. I just think Topuria is a little more well-rounded than McGregor.
Yo, he's there. He's still young and stuff too. So like he's ready.
And I think he can give Islam a lot of problems on the feet.
Right.
A lot of problems. But once Islam gets you down, you're done.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, once you're on the mat, bro, it's a given. It's a wrap when you're on the mat with him.
This fight brought Ilya's star power to major light. It's made him one of the future, one of the most popular guys in the UFC at this point. One of their most popular champions.
Right.
I would put him up there with Pereira and Jones in popularity, honestly.
No, it's really starting to grow. It grew up a lot over time, especially, everything he's been going through and everything.
But I don't know where you're going to be on November 16th. I know where I'm going to be.
Where are you going to be?
Watching the GOAT.
Coming back, right?
Watching the GOAT. You're going to take out Steve and watching the GOAT.
So that's going to happen, right?
Lord willing, we're 2.5 weeks away.
I know. But, I mean, it's slated to happen, so.
John Jones just got charges dismissed. He just has to go to anger management. Go to anger management on November 17th. You got a job to do on the 16th. Let's get it done.
It's simple enough, right? I mean, we've been waiting for this fight for how many years now?
Well, when did he win? We're going on a year and a half easy when he got the belt.
Right.
We're going on at least a year and a half.
But just like waiting for John Jones to come back and everything, it's just been.
I know. Well, it's drama with him.
It's always
every fight with him, you're not seeing him for another year.
I know exactly. So it's almost like a comment, bro. You gotta enjoy while it's there.
Yeah, of course.
But nah, dude, it sounds like UFC's got a lot going on, and it's been a great year overall in terms of every pay-per-view that they put out. From overseas to over here, it's just you gotta tip your hat to what they're doing.
Pay-per-view's been good.
Why?
Because Alex Pereira saves them when their regular main events hit the fan.
Yeah, I mean,
give that man his due.
He's been putting them on his stardom and fame has really gone through the roof. Honestly, he's had a great year of fighting, even the past year before that too. So where he's helped he's basically got the OC on his back right now for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Dana has to back up the brake truck. When McGregor Chandler fell through in June, who was at the call?
Pereira. So we already know. But overall, though, this year, it's definitely been a great year of fighting and everything.
They've had a great year
for sure, and I'm sure the year will finish very strong too.
I hope so, and I also hope they make tickets more affordable.
Yeah, right. That'd be the best thing.
Christ, nosebleeds for Jones are like $6.
That's crazy, bro. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Nope, can't do it.
But on that note, JC, I appreciate you coming on, my friend. I really do.
I appreciate you staying it up for me today.
Absolutely, my man. But until next time. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Enjoy your night, man.
All right, you too.